This is Jane Goodall, and she studied chimpanzees. Chimpanzees live in Africa. When Jane was younger, her dad bought her a toy chimpanzee and she named it Jubilee after a real one in the London Zoo. Many believe that this began her love for animals and wanting to learn more about chimps. When Jane Goodall was 26 years old, she traveled to Africa to a place called Gombe National Park to study chimpanzees. For a long time, the chimps ran away from Jane, but she was patient. She tracked them through the woods to get as close to them as she could, and she waited for them to get used to her. Jane came to the chimps every day at the same time to be friendly. Eventually, the chimps at Gombe trusted her and allowed her to get close enough to them. Humans and chimps are actually very similar. We are also part of the animal group called great apes, along with chimpanzees, orangutans. So learning about chimpanzees and how they relate to each other, their habits, and how they react to diseases can help us learn more about humans. One thing that Jane did was name the chimps that she was interacting with every day in Africa, like Frodo, Fifi, Goliath, David Greybeard. Jane quickly realized that the different chimps actually had different personalities just like humans do. Until Jane studied chimps, scientists thought chimps were vegetarians, that they didn't eat meat. But Jane found out that sometimes they hunt and eat other animals. So it turns out they're omnivores and eat plants and meat. But Jane Goodall made an even bigger discovery. She observed David Greybeard and the other chimps making tools. They changed a natural object, like a twig, to make it fit a purpose. In this case, a combination of a fishing pole and a spoon. They would strip away the leaves to get the twig ready, stick it inside a termite mound, and pull it out covered in tasty termites. Delicious. Jane Goodall wanted to do everything she could to continue working with chimps and saving them. One thing she had to do was travel around the world to talk about how to save the forests that the chimpanzees live in. Today, Jane still travels around the world teaching others about the amazing things that she learned during her time in Gombe. I hope that you liked learning about Jane Goodall and the chimps, and now it's time to move on to the next activity. So for your activity to go along with this video, I'd like for you to open up the document that has the picture of the bananas. On each banana, I would like for you to either draw a picture or write a sentence if you're able to do that, or even just some of the words that would go for something you learned about Jane Goodall this week, or something you learned about chimpanzee, or even just something that was your favorite part from the story. So it's kind of open as to what you do for this part, but each banana, so that gives you 3 things that you can write about or draw about from this video or something else you've learned this week. Good job, keep up the good work on your e-learning, and I'm looking forward to seeing your work.